Hi guys. I am just going to catch you guys up on our crazy life lately while I get ready for date night with Hunter. We do an individual date night with no other couples every single week, no matter what. And I swear that has been the secret for us personally with our marriage and staying connected, especially after having kids. So I thought it'd be fun to get ready together and just chat about what has been going on in our house, because a lot has obviously been going on. Hi guys. And it's been a little bit crazy, so I'm excited to catch you guys up on everything. But I want to hear how everybody's Thanksgiving was. Ours was amazing. Our parents both live really close to us, so we just split time between parents, and Hunter and I are fortunate enough that both of our parents are still together. I know that for a lot of my friends, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, you have more than two families to balance, and we are fortunate enough to only have the two families to split time between. And so the way that we kind of do it is we will prioritize a family each year. And so this year my family was the priority. So we just did dinner at the time they were doing it. And then we always just make sure to stop in at the other family's house because they live so close. And that has just been perfect for us. But how was your guys' Thanksgiving been? I hope it was so much fun. So as you guys saw me post in real time last week, Blakely was in the hospital, which was insane. It was so crazy because from the time that Blakely started showing signs of not feeling very well to the time of her being in the hospital was literally like 10 hours. So it was like a very, very quick process. She went downhill so quick, which was terrifying and just awful. But she is home, she is healthy. And I was gonna kind of tell you guys like how we admitted her to the hospital, why we took her to the ER, because it was just crazy. Also, I was gonna do this live while Blakely was asleep. And of course, like the second I was about to start it, she was like, "Mommy, I have to go potty." And it's like, how can you leave her in her crib when she's gotta pee, you know? So Hunter is currently playing with her right now, but I am sure that our sweet little girl will come in and say hi and come in and visit us. So this might get hectic, but we're just gonna do our best. So what happened with Blake is Hunter and I were actually out on a date night and we got home pretty early. And so Blakely was still awake and she had been like 100% healthy for that entire day. And our nanny, who we know, love, trust, didn't say anything about Blakely acting sick. And we kind of noticed, like, as we were going to put her to bed that night, we're like, her breathing sounds so weird. And sure enough, we had her sleep in our bed with us just to kind of keep a close eye on her. And unfortunately, we did not have an at-home like oxygen monitor. Otherwise, we would have tested it. But her breathing got worse throughout the night. So at about 5 o'clock in the morning, I looked at her and I was like, "Hey, sissy, let's do a deep breath on 3. And I started to count and she was like, "No, mommy, I can't do a deep breath. It's so hard to breathe." She literally said that to me. So I literally panicked. And I was like, "Hunter, I agree. I think we need to take her to the ER." Because Hunter was like, "Yo, I'm taking her to the ER. Like, I'm not fucking around." And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it." So he got dressed and he took her to the closest ER, which was about 5 minutes from our house. So it was super close. And it's not like it was an emergency situation, guys. Like, she had completely normal energy. She was acting totally fine. But her breathing just sounded like it was hard for her to breathe. And then she was telling us it was hard for her to breathe. So we just were like, okay, let's just go get her saturation checked and get her vitals checked. And so that's why we originally took her to the ER. And we would have just taken her to Instacare if it wasn't 5 a.m. But since it was 5 a.m., that was like pretty much our only option. So that's what we did. And when we got there, they checked her oxygen saturation and it was in the low 80s. So definitely was in need of oxygen assistance, but it's not like she was in critical condition. So I just kind of wanted to like put that into perspective for you guys. So we had a gas mask on her. And when I say we, I mean Hunter, because I was at home with Beckham still because he was in bed. And I was like texting my parents, hey, this is the situation. So if Blakely gets admitted, I'm gonna need you to come to my house and take Beckham so that I can obviously go meet them at the hospital. So that was kind of our plan. So I was like texting Hunter the whole time. He let me know about her oxygen saturation. They gave her an oxygen mask and it was like hell. Imagine a 3-year-old being forced to wear an oxygen mask, and it's about as gnarly as it sounds. So Hunter was obviously just being the best dad in the entire world and doing everything he could to hold it on her and keep her safe. They held her at the ER for about, let me think, we got there at like 5:30, and then she was admitted, she was transferred at like 8. So they held her for about 3 hours, just checking her vitals. They also wanted to test for the flu, RSV, and COVID, and all of those tests came back negative, but they would not let us go because obviously she needed oxygen support. So they let us know that they were going to transfer her to the nearest hospital that was in network for our insurance. And then Hunter called me. I had my parents come over and I went and I met them at the hospital. That's kind of when things actually started to go downhill a little bit, because with kiddos and like respiratory infections, because she did end up having a respiratory infection, they oftentimes will get worse before they really get better. And so that is exactly what we saw with Blakely. She got a cannula for her oxygen when we first got to the hospital, and that was miserable. She hated it, obviously. And then her oxygen needs were going up, and so she had to be moved from low flow to high flow, which obviously like scared us a little bit. But we obviously have a very complex medical history with our kids because Beckham was in the NICU for 4 months. And so it was interesting to kind of see the way that that impacted us, because it was actually like comforting to understand like, okay, she's not like on CPAP, she's not intubated, like she just needs a little bit of help oxygen wise. And that kind of kept me mentally sane. But for Hunter, it brought up like a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD. So it was actually harder on him. I forgot to pre-wet my beauty blender, so I need to wet this really quick. So give me 2 seconds. Sorry guys, yes, I am in the coziest onesie. This onesie is from Skims and I always wear it when I'm getting ready because I'm freezing when I'm getting ready, and it also can zip down so I can like see the color of my neck to match my foundation. But I'm just going to press the product I just put on my face with a brush and with a beauty blender so it's super seamless, and apply any more that I need in like areas that need a little bit more coverage. But we're at the hospital. Like I said, Hunter's experiencing a lot of PTSD and obviously just really struggling to see Blakely in that state. And so when I got there, she already had the cannula and she was like miserable, you guys. It was so sad. And then as her oxygen needs kept going up, she stayed at high flow, but they had to keep increasing high flow and the rate at which it was going in and all of that stuff. And so they were like, you know, we really need to do an IV for liquids, because she was also throwing up, and that was tough. But a lot of the reason she was throwing up was because the oxygen was going at such a high rate. It was pretty uncomfortable for her. So when she would eat, it would like cause her to gag, which would then cause her to throw up. So that was like super stressful. So they had her on high flow. They were like, yeah, we need to insert an IV. So Hunter and I were just like, holy shit, are you kidding me? And we were so grateful, obviously, that she could get what she needed. But I was like, I'm going to need to like step out of the room. Because, I mean, that makes me pretty emotional to see them put an IV in my sweet, sweet girl. So the doctors came in. They had to poke her 3 times. And on the 3rd time, it literally still wasn't working. So they like pull out the 3rd needle. And I just want you to envision this. Like doctors and my husband are literally holding Blakely down while she is screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm hurting, this hurts, I'm so scared, sobbing her eyes out. It was terrible, you guys. It was so horrible. They called an anesthesiologist up to come put an IV in her ankle because they weren't able to get it in the 2 places in her arm that they originally tried, and then her hand. So she is literally still bruised up, like her whole hand, her arms. Makes me sick to look at and obviously super angry. I'm so grateful for medical care, but it's just hard to see your child like that when you have like no control, you know what I mean? So that was super tough. I can hear Blakely coming. She's probably gonna come say hi. And then they finally got the IV in her, and then they were giving her steroids, liquid, and a sedation medication so that she could sleep. So she was basically sleeping for the rest of the time that we were in the hospital, and she'd have little wake windows where she would wake up and be so pissed because she obviously had no idea why she was like connected to a bed. The IV was in her ankle, so she didn't notice it much, but when she did start to wake up a little bit more, she like wanted it to be taken out. Obviously she hated the cannula, and as you guys saw in like a lot of my videos, you just kind of saw the progression of like how awful it was and then how she got better and better. So the one good thing was that she definitely went uphill as fast as she went downhill at the beginning. So she was still on high flow oxygen on Sunday morning, and we were literally discharged by Sunday night, and she was on room air for 8 hours on Sunday, bouncing off the walls, doing amazing. We are just so grateful that nothing was worse. And with Beckham and being very used to being in the hospital under critical conditions, this was like a walk in the park in comparison to that, but it was still horrific to see, obviously, my precious little 3-year-old under that much distress. So we are home, we are healthy, thank goodness. She had a respiratory lung infection, and Hunter actually has really bad lungs. He got pneumonia when he was 8 years old, I believe, and he actually almost died. He was hospitalized, and like they literally told his parents, like, we don't know if he's gonna make it. Makes me sick to think about. So we were like definitely hyper aware that Blakely could very well have weak lungs. And so it was definitely a rough few days, but we are just incredibly grateful that everything turned out okay. So that is like the big update, and I will totally answer any questions that you guys have. She was diagnosed with bronchiolitis. That is the specific infection that she had. They said they treat it very similar to RSV, and they said that everything that happened in the hospital was pretty typical for what they see in kids her age with that specific diagnosis. So yeah, she's doing great now, thank heavens, and we are just so happy and grateful to have her home. I took a week off of posting on YouTube, and I just really spent that quality time with my kids. It's so crazy when things like that happen. You really just like prioritize your family, and it puts like those things into perspective, which it's sad that sometimes that's what it takes to like make you think like, oh my goodness, like I need to make sure I'm spending every waking moment with my kids, and just to be so grateful for your health, you know? So yeah. Okay, what do you and your husband do for your careers? I do social media, and Hunter owns a pest control company here in Utah. So that is what we both do for a living. Sorry that I missed like all your questions up to now. I just quickly wanted to tell that story. to catch you guys up because I know I did little vlogs of her being in the hospital, but I never gave you guys context as to what the hell was going on. So I'm so glad that I was able to give you guys all of that context now. Beckham is currently napping. He had a long morning because we did some at-home therapy with him, and he did such an amazing job. I cannot wait for a few videos that I have coming for you guys. So that was super exciting. And now I'm just getting ready to go on a date with my man, which I'm super excited for. Thank you so much. I love my bathroom, but you know when you've been in your house for a couple of years and you want to change everything, and no, but I love my bathroom. I'm so grateful for it. I would love to make a few changes, like switch out my tile, switch the color of my cabinetries, my hardware, but we don't want to do too much to this house because we are going to move. Not soon, but eventually. Do you find as entrepreneurs it's hard to get good insurance? Don't even get me started. Our insurance is seriously so bad and it is so expensive. It is our most expensive bill monthly aside from our mortgage payment. And we have a massive out-of-pocket maximum, not only individually, which Beckham hits every year, but also as a family, we have a massive out-of-pocket. So sometimes I'm just like, why am I paying you so much monthly for you guys to literally do next to nothing for me? But, you know, there's really not much that you can do about it when you're an entrepreneur. You just have to pay for insurance. In our case, you have to pay for it. We have to pay for insurance. It's totally unoptional for us to not have insurance because of having a son with special needs. We use that sucker up very quickly every year. So yeah, that's just, you know, we just try to stay positive and we just have to work really hard to make sure that we can afford it. Blakely is playing with her daddy out in the family room while I'm getting ready in my bathroom. Oh my gosh, Ava, stop. You are so, so sweet. Thank you so much for saying that. I think as parents, you do the very, very best that you can. I've definitely found that with having a neurotypical child, meaning just having Blakely, who's not disabled, and then having a special needs child, discipline and parenting is very complicated and extremely confusing for her. I can't talk when I powder my face, and I don't know why I'm like that. But every time I do a live, I'm like, sorry, one sec. You guys are so sweet. Is Beckham doing better since going to therapy? Yes. The improvements that we've seen at home have been so massive and just like literally life-changing. It's been so cool. We cannot wait for him to do another one. We don't know when that is yet because we are waiting to see if he gets approved for surgery. Because if he gets approved for surgery, then he would have surgery first. And then he would have another intensive session, if that makes sense. The surgery that I'm talking about is called SDR. And SDR surgery basically would replace what we're doing with Botox. And it basically is a surgery where they go in through the spine, and because of Beckham's brain bleed, he has brain damage, there are certain nerves in his body that primarily impact his legs that his brain can't communicate with, and they actually cut those nerves to release a lot of spasticity. And we don't know a ton of details about the surgery in terms of like risks and things like that. He has to be approved for it, so we're waiting on one x-ray to be ordered. That's the last step in the process of approval. We just need to get that x-ray ordered, and then we will be able to have a consultation with the doctor. And if he's a good fit, then we will move forward with the surgery, and I'll be able to share like every little detail with you guys. The surgery would be done in St. Louis, Missouri. And we are really praying that he gets approved and that the surgery would be able to help him, because it would have so many benefits in terms of mobility, pain, prevention of future surgeries. It is completely elective, so insurance would not help at all, which is scary because it's a very big surgery and travel and all of those things. But we feel really confident that it's the right decision if he gets approved. So we are going to be doing it literally as quickly as we can, which will be this, like the second he gets approved, we're gonna book it. So that will be intense. He would not need to be life flighted to and from. We would have to like pay for his travel to get there. Oh, the powder that I use is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder, and I swear it is like the best powder at setting your makeup but not making you look cakey or heavy throughout the day. I love looking glowy, and that's one of the reasons I love that powder so much. I love it. I used to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I love it, but it was just a little bit too thick and too matte for me. Blakely's doing phenomenal. No, if Beckham doesn't get approved for the surgery, it means that it wouldn't benefit him, or his spine wouldn't be able to handle the surgery. So the approval is based on like Beckham's body type, based on his spasticity, his brain. You want to say, Blakely said, Mommy, I want to say hi. Oh, you want to say hi to me, or do you want to say hi to your friends? Hi to your friends. Hi. Are you feeling better? Everyone wants to know if you're feeling good.
Go to the hospital today.
You went to the hospital? Yeah. Did you see the doctors? Did they make you all better? Yeah. Are you healthy now? Yeah. Can you say hi? Can you blow kisses? You're so silly. Are you playing with Daddy? Yeah, I love that. I love that, Princess. Thank you so much for saying hi. Here. Did you want to go show Daddy how you do your makeup with Mommy? That one's yours. Yeah, go show Dad. Your new brush, babe. You can say, look, I'm doing my makeup with Mommy.
I'll turn the baby one. Baby water, okay? One sec.
No, we don't need to do water on it. She like watches me wet my beauty blender, so then she'll like turn. Okay, go show Dad. He's gonna love it, girl.
I like it. I like the water.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it, baby. She's so cute. Literally the light of my life. As you can see, she's doing amazing. Beckham is still napping. He stayed up a little bit later than Blakely before nap time, so he's probably gonna sleep quite a bit longer than she will today. Hunter and I are going on our weekly date night. We go on a date every single week by ourselves with no other couples, no matter what. And it is such an amazing time for us. We check in about our marriage. We talk about things that are really important to us, everything that's going on. It's just like a way for us to reconnect without our kids. And we love it. Sorry guys, give me one sec. Hunter needs me, but I will be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry to leave you hanging. We don't have an emergency, but we have a mild situation going on, and I'm gonna have to close my live. I am so sorry. I need to quickly finish, and then we need to go give Beckham a little bath because he had a little bit of spit up. So Hunter is bathing him right now, but he needs my help. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out the live. Everything is great and fine. No one's stressed. You guys are so sweet. It was fun hanging out for just a minute. I will try to do another live soon, but I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.